You got Leon D here, and we're going to talk about food. I'm not an expert on anything to do with food, but I've been around a long time, and I am a professional barbecuologist. I know food. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know a lot of things that you may not like. That's the intro for Leon D. Let's get it on. This is your boy Leon D, and we're going to talk about food. Mostly barbecue, but we're going to talk about some other things too, some other types of food. Throughout, we've talked about all kind of stuff, but it's always been about food. But let's talk about something that's going to hit at a few of you right in the gut. It's going to hit you right in the gut. Let me tell you something, and this is just a fact. Like I said, I'm not an expert at anything, but I know what I know. I know what I like, and I'm here to educate you on what you might know, and you might not know, and you like, and you might not like. So let's get into it. One of the things that I see a lot, especially on these TV shows, and people ask me about this kind of food. It's called those 30-minute meals. Let's talk about that. 30-minute meals. The only time I want a 30-minute meal is if I'm drunk, which is very, very, very rare. Once a decade, once every 20 years. I don't want you cooking my meal in 30 minutes. And over the holidays, I try to do a few meals in 30 minutes. Now, there's no way you can do that and prep the meal and have it ready to go unless you're cooking something like a hot dog. And even a hot dog is going to take 10 or 15 minutes unless you eat it raw, because you got to warm the water up. Some people get off into that. To me, if you're going to cook a meal in 30 minutes, there's a 99.9% chance you should have never cooked, because I don't know what you're going to cook that's good and a complete meal. I'm talking about vegetables. I'm talking about, some kind of, vegetables, some kind of starch. I don't know how you can do it in 30 minutes unless, like I said, you're cooking a hot dog, because any kind of real food you cook is going to take at least 45 minutes. And then the other thing too that you got to realize, if you cook your meal in 30 minutes, I already know there's no love in that meal. Nobody who's hungry wants a real meal is going to say, I want it in 30 minutes. Now, if you don't count the prep time, there's a possibility that you can cook that meal in 30 minutes. Something like maybe boiling water, maybe rice. Even rice would be kind of close. But I know for me, it takes me at least an hour to get food out of the fridge, prep it, get it ready, get my dishes, get my seasoning. Oh yeah, and I know you're not seasoning food if you cook it in 30 minutes. I know you're not doing that. So there's no need to say you are, because you're not. So my whole point is, there's no way you can have a good meal. Matter of fact, not even a decent meal in 30 minutes. And the people who always talk about 30-minute meals, have you ever noticed they're skinny as hell? They look undernourished. You look at TV shows and you look at all this other kind of stuff, they are really, they look undernourished. They look almost like crackheads. Those are the ones that brag about these 30-minute meals. And then you people who look at TV, now all this stuff is edited, because there's no way they cook in 30 minutes with commercials and all this other stuff going on. So when I see people talk about a 30-minute meal, I struggle to figure out what it is that you like that you can cook in 30 minutes. Now, saying that, I don't eat ramen. Now, I know some of you people out there swear to God you can smoke a brisket, 30-pound brisket, in 30 minutes. I know there are people like that. I actually, I heard people say that. I did this 30-pound brisket in 1 hour. Yeah, just don't bring that to me. Don't bring that to me. Because I already know we got an argument. I already know we're going to fight. I already know a lot of things already. Because I'm not going to eat your food that you're so proud of, and you smoke this brisket of 30 pounds in 30 minutes. Not going to have that. Okay? So I tried cooking a few things, like a hamburger. And you can do a hamburger. A hamburger, you can do it in 30 minutes. Don't get me wrong. But my hamburgers are pretty damn thick. I like to season them. I make them by hand. and also, I like to grind my own ribeye into my hamburger. So there's a lot of things that I like to do before I even get out the frying pan or the smoker or whatever I'm going to use. And I know some of you people think that you can do it in 30 minutes. And I'm going to tell you something. You can cook a full meal in 30 minutes in these new air fryers and the microwave. Have you tasted the food? And if you say the food was good, I already know that you've not had a lot of good food in your life unless you ate out somewhere where somebody else cooked. And I got news for you. You go to a restaurant, your food cooked in 30 minutes, your food was cooked before you showed up. It was cooked before you showed up. So don't sit there and think that when you showed up, they started prepping your food. No. That food was prepped a week ago. That food was vacuum sealed. They got a sous vide or they got some boiling water. That food was prepped a long time ago. Don't think when you showed up to a steakhouse, they're just now killing the cow. Nope. It's not how it worked. That cow's been dead, shipped, froze, all kind of things happen to it. Unless you go into a butcher and you actually see him physically drag the cow into the restaurant or to the butcher shop. You just can't do it. And like I said, I don't see anybody fat. And you know who you are. Begging for 30-minute meals. They can't eat a 30-minute meal in 30 minutes. A fat person can't. They can't do it. Because they want to savor every single bite or morsel. Now I know people who can eat a full meal in under 30 minutes. Heck, I can do that. Depends on what it is. But like I was saying, even if you did a hamburger, you sit there, what are you going to have with the hamburger? By the time you cut your lettuce or get it out of the bag, like most of you, your tomatoes, all this takes time. And I'm not trying to rush to feed myself dinner. Now, you can make a 30-minute lunch. That's easy to do. You can get a sandwich, a cold cut sandwich, a deli sandwich. Yeah. That's all right. A breakfast can come close, but you're just scrambling eggs. And you baking and eggs is not anything difficult. Now, if you one of those new style people like the young kids today, you just get a bagel, put it in a toaster or whatever, boom, you're done. Because they call a bagel a meal. Not in my book. If it ain't got meat, it's not a meal. That's just how it works. I tried spaghetti. I started my timer. I got I had spaghetti on the counter. I had the noodles. I had the meat. By the time I browned the ground beef, drained all the oil off, all the grease off. By the time I did all that, cooked the noodles. Cook the noodles. You can do some things in parallel. You can. But do you really want to take your eyes off live fire? I don't do that. I'm smoking. If I'm smoking food outside my house, away from the house, yeah, I can give that a shot. So my whole point is, how much love is there in anything you do in 30 minutes? Think about it. Anything you do. Hell, I drive a large SUV. It takes me about 20 minutes to fill it up because I got a 42-gallon tank. So it takes me a minute to fill up my truck. I can't imagine me saying I cooked a meal in the same amount of time. And so HelloFresh make it as simple as possible for you. They make it very, very, very simple for you. You can do those meals in about 25 to 30 minutes. But someone has chopped everything up. Someone has did all the prep for you. HelloFresh, and also for a lot of you guys, even when I fry chicken or whatever, I clean my meat before I cook it. I run water over it, cold water on top of that. Don't do hot water because I don't want a disease because I have not cleaned my meat. Now, of course, you can't do that with ground beef, but any meat that's got a bone in it or intact, it's one piece, clean your meat. And that's going, and you don't do that in 10 seconds. So these 30-minute meals are impossible to do for something you like. Now, the closest I've come, just the closest I come, is tacos. It's tacos. But then you gotta cook the rice, you gotta cook the beans, Now some people eat tacos by themselves. I'm fine with that. That's not me. When I eat, I like full meals. I like a whole, like I said, I want my starch, I want my protein, I want my vegetables. I want a little everything. And plus, when I'm cooking, I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. It's like at a barbecue. If you want your food to be done at 2:00 and you are expecting guests at 2:00, first of all, I can tell you right now, your guests are not anybody I know, because nobody I know shows at 2:00. When they show up at 2:30, they expect for food to be done. But here's a little kicker though. I'd rather, my point is, you can't rush cooking. I'd rather for you to cook it and take a little longer and get it right and get it tasteful than to rush and it tastes like water or very, very bland. Water don't add taste to anything. Water is like what we call a neutral mixer. It don't add taste. It don't take away taste. So all there, you just add it. Water is there strictly for moisture to whatever you're trying to cook. You say, oh, add some water to it, tastes better. Who in the hell told you that? So all you people who want to rush around here and say, I'm a great 30-minute cook, most of you are probably single, or you got little kids and you're making hamburger helper, and that takes about 30 minutes itself. But you got to cook noodles and beef and all this at the same time. Now, I can cook a lot of different things. Matter of fact, I can cook most things, but nothing I like for myself takes 30 minutes. If I go in the kitchen and cook, I take my time, get what I want, make sure I'm not overthinking things, make sure that everything I need is there. So you go there and you gotta enjoy it. If I don't enjoy cooking when I'm going to cook, I just don't cook. That's just me. There are days I said, I'm just not going to cook today. But I'm the kind of person that I enjoy cooking every time I cook, because I'm the kind of person that I tend to cook enough for more than just one day. So tomorrow I ain't got to cook. But the next day or the third day, I now got to cook. I'm not in that mood where I'm tired, I don't want to do it. No, I'm cool because I'm ready to eat something different or eat again. And because I want to eat something different, I got it all laid out. But I don't know how you can be a 30-minute cook and have leftovers. I have never had leftovers on anything I cook quick. If I did, it was tacos, only because I made enough for 3 people and only 1 or 2 of us was there, because I tend to cook for more than one person. And I do that by choice, even when I'm cooking for just myself, because it's hard for me to get the right proportions, when it's only just one person. So I can see why a lot of single people go out and they eat out every day. But it's no need to eat out 3 or 4 times a day. Some people do that. You throw money away, or you just totally stupid. And a lot of people don't mind being stupid, because we got a bunch of people in this world who are stupid because they want to eat out every meal versus just going to buy a pack of chicken that you can eat off for 3 or 4 days, but everybody has a choice in how they waste their money. I see it all the time in kids. I'm like, damn, didn't I see her here for breakfast and lunch? Whether it's Applebee's, whether it's, Chipotle or whatever, wherever you go. I can understand that eating out for lunch quite a bit, but I take my lunch because I cook good food at home, and I like to have good food when I come home. And plus, I'm not into the fried food world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into that world. Some people are. That's not me. Fried foods, I don't see a lot of good about them. I'd rather smoke my food, or use a conventional oven and just bake it. I even bake on my grill. I bake on the grill. So that's one of the things that, the main subject is 30-minute cook. You got to ask yourself, would you marry a girl or a guy who only can specialize in 30-minute meals? I understand people want to multitask and do a lot of things in one day. So do I. But some things I'm passionate about, especially things that goes into my body. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a savior and all this and all that. That's not me. I eat a lot of smoked foods. I eat a lot of things that you just don't, you may not like as far as the things that I smoke, but everybody knows I'm a smoker. And when you're smoking food, nothing is quick. And the only time you can do something quick is really when you fry or boil. And I don't really eat boiled meat because, like I said earlier, it's not a meal without meat. I know some of you people who are who go meatless. I'm fine for you to be that way, not I. But like I said, these 30-minute cooks, you look at them on TV and they look all anorexic. They look all like they got a lot of problems. They got a lot of problems. You may not see those problems, but oh yeah, I see them. They got a lot of problems. They're not me. And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, this is a great meal. Even a decent salad takes 15, 20 minutes to put together. Unless you're buying a pre-made salad. See, pre-made means that someone already prepped all the food that they made for you. That took some time by somebody. So you say I can cook. Cook means prepping and cooking. So when you buy a pre-made, don't sit there and brag and boast about how you cook this. No. You finished it up. Somebody else started that. It's no different than going to McDonald's, fast food. Someone prepped all that food well before you came in. No, they didn't just, you just see a cow walk in and the guy is slapping the cow with a knife, trying to stab the cow and say, I'm looking for that, quarter pounder in there. No. Somebody did all the work for you. So even if you go to McDonald's, someone did all the work for you. And see, me at home, I do my own work. I do all my own work at home. So when I start, I sit there and I say, okay, let me now get out of the fridge what I want to eat. And then I say, now I have what I want to eat. Let me get my seasonings. I get my seasonings. And those of you who don't use seasonings, I totally understand. You don't know how to cook. So I get my seasonings. And then I say, here go my main ingredients. Now I get my utensils I need to cook my food with. Because like I said, cooking is part of it, but the prep and the cook is what they don't show you on TV. So once I get all that together, I tell myself, I say, okay, now I cook the food. Now the food is finished. How much time did it take from the time I opened the fridge or my pantry to get the food out? How much time did it take? And I don't eat anything really the way it came. I know a lot of people are spam addicts. Even you nowadays, you spam addicts, you like spam in a can. Nowadays, you're adding things to your spam to make it look like it's a real meat. It came from a real animal, but it's not a real meat. Even now, people get spam. They want to add things to it and do things to it. And they have you convinced that spam is the fourth food group. They have you believing that. They say it's not fruit, vegetables, or meat. It is now the fourth food group in some parts of America. It hasn't made its way to the East Coast, but in the South and in Midwest, it's there. It seems like it avoid the Northeast and the West Coast. But you go to Hawaii, they eat spam like it's ribs. To them, spam is just a brisket mislabeled. That's just how they see it. So, this is DJ Leon D. This is episode number 31. But we just talking about 30-minute cooks. Don't marry one. You can date one because she's going to be thin. If you're into thin people. But, also, when they 30-minute cooks like rice cakes. Give me that big person who's going to have some meat on the table. So this is your boy Leon D saying, hey, I catch you on episode number 32. Peace out.